8th of May 1970. And what a great movement that was for the community. What a great outcome for community speaking out. And it's appropriate that we're speaking about free speech on a day like this. And well, why does it matter, free speech? It matters because in a democracy, if people can't speak, if their voices are silenced, then we'll never learn from the community wisdom of different voices. Some people say, well, we can't have offensive voices. We don't want to be offended by free speech. If that had happened, what would have been the situation with women's suffrage? The suffragettes spoke out and they caused offence. And if they hadn't done so, we would have stayed back in the Dark Ages. The only way we move forward and grow and develop is hearing different ideas. Now, words matter. They can offend. They can frighten. They can be very challenging. And they can also inspire. And we often it'll be the same words that hurt and inspire different people. Well, down here in Berkeley Square, we're seeing something that's all too common. We're seeing the corporatisation of public space.
Yeah.
We've had many examples now. We've had the example at South Bank. They said it's private development at South Bank, so we're not letting anyone take any photographs. Here is one of the places where tourists go and congregate, and they had security officers telling them, no, you can't take that photograph. Well, in the end, that was ridiculed away. But we had to fight a campaign about it. Look at Yarra Park down at the MCG, hand it over to the MCG so that they can continue their parking, but also with laws now permitting them to stop any placards or banners or public statements that they disagree with from being used in what is in fact a public park. Same with Berkeley Square. People go there as part of their daily business to shop and do the various things that they need to do as part of being in this community. Now, if corporations want to have shops, that's fine. We understand that that's what they do. But don't you stifle our community. Don't you tell people that you can't have a stall. You can't have an expression of views. You can't have the community interacting and exchanging ideas.
Sure. For me, one of the hallmarks of a thriving community is that there's arts and culture and ideas. And for better or worse, our public spaces and the town squares of old have been taken over by shopping centres. Out in Chadstone and Knox and all those other mega shopping centres, people actually go and meet as communities. People have exercise groups there. They meet and have book groups. They have no public spaces that they can use anymore. So as Brian says, the marketplace that used to be the marketplace of ideas has become the marketplace of commerce, and people are needing to reclaim those spaces. And we need to, increasingly in this community, our rights to speak and be heard and be consulted are taken away from us. We have no voice on planning anymore. It's been removed. We have no voice on live music. That's been removed. Everything is taken away from us. And the least we can do is reclaim our own community so that we have spaces where people can speak and listen and agree and disagree. So it's absolutely critical that this action succeed. It might interest people to know that this week there was climate activists handing out materials at a railway station, and they were asked to move on by the Metro railway staff. So a public space owned by us is now turning into a private space where we can't speak what we feel and people can't encounter ideas. So we absolutely have to halt this.
I encourage people to have a look at our really scary stall over there. That's the kind of thing that we have at Berkeley Square. Very scary. It's just a one-card table, a couple of papers and some leaflets. I've been at the stall for a few weeks, and I've had the police come up. There's this very annoying security guy who comes over as if he's got a lot of power and control, gets the cops to kind of shut us down. And then there's really they just expect, you know, you've got to shut up in 15 minutes and we want you out of here. And basically, as soon as that happens, everyone starts walking up and going, what's going on here? What's happening? And it's like, well, we're not allowed to have a stall. I mean, they reckon they own that space. They have control, they own that space, they bought that space, that gives them the right. But the question remains, well, you know, at some point not very long ago, we took that land off the Aboriginal people, denied them the right to have a say over how their land was used, and have systematically denied them that right. So the question is, you know, really, on what basis does this institution have any right at all?
All the way down the line, since Howard introduced the Royal Commission in the early part of this decade, all the way through the task force up to now the ABCC, building workers and their rights to free speech, to organise, to take industrial action has been under attack. The CFMEU has been subject to millions of dollars worth of fines, legal costs and so on. It is not finished yet, because this is the point I would like to make to all of you. The right to free speech has to be fought for every day. We are here now after the fight was taken up back in the 30s, and we are commemorating the free speech fight that took place then. Free speech only exists as long as you defend it. Trade unionism only exists as long as you defend it. Struggle is what it is about. It is not about celebrating a victory and then thinking everything is sweet, because it never bloody is. It's a simple situation. You must go on and fight.